This interview was brought to you by the Aces, Alaska's hockey team. We're not going anywhere.
Thank you for joining us. This is Jeff Landfield with the Alaska Landmine. I want to welcome you to our third installment of interviews with Alaskan politicians. Today, we're joined by none other than Mayor Ethan Berkowitz, and we're going to get straight into it. Mayor Berkowitz, you've been mayor for 3 years now. You're up for re-election. What do you think about this campaign right now?
Now's the time and this is the place.
Well, now is the time. The election's coming up. You've been mayor for almost 3 years. In your experience so far, who has been the biggest impediments to your agenda?
People in the state legislature, the governor.
I get it. Revenue sharing from the state is down. But since you've been mayor, property taxes have gone up. Your opponent's saying you're tax and spend. If you win re-election, are you going to raise taxes, and can the citizens of Anchorage afford it?
People in this town have a tremendous untapped capacity.
Ooh, Mayor, now we're talking. How are you going to go out there and get that money?
So we just have to have the vision to go out and get them.
So Ethan, taking in all that new money, how does that position us economically?
We're in a great position to
do what, Ethan?
make Anchorage a more fun, more exciting place to live.
On the note of a fun place to live, got to take a quick break, pay the bills. This segment is brought to you by current mayoral candidate Dustin Darden, who has this to say.
I love homosexuals. I probably love homosexuals just as much as any of you guys love homosexuals. But you know what? To that extent, I'm not going to even identify them as homosexuals.
Thanks, Dustin. On that progressive note, Mayor Berkowitz, marijuana is a big part of the discussion right now. What do you feel Anchorage's role is in the marijuana industry?
Anchorage is really sort of the gateway to the rest of Alaska.
Like for pot?
Anchorage should be the gateway to that.
I'm sorry. Can you clarify?
Anchorage is in Alaska. It's Anchorage, Alaska.
On the note of Anchorage, now that marijuana is legal, there's tax revenue. What can Anchorage residents do to help contribute to the tax revenue?
There's a lot of papers that are sitting on shelves, and frankly, if we just dusted them off and used them, we'd be in great shape.
Well, Ethan, sounds like you have the stoner vote locked up.
I've always felt that if you put a critical mass of critical thinkers in a confined space, there's no telling what you can come up with.
Ethan, last question on this topic. That stoner base you talk of, what should they be prepared to do over the next couple of years?
Approach these next years as a time to just hunker down and not be aggressive and not be ambitious.
Speaking of ambition, you've taken the pretty ambitious position to deal with this crime problem, but with SB 91 in the legislature and these new rules, how do you plan on dealing with all these new rules?
Just tell me what the rules are.
Mayor, I don't think anybody knows the rules. On crime, at one point you said to the Anchorage residents, as long as they don't go out past midnight, they're safe. What would you say to those brave Anchorage residents who do go out past midnight?
As Alaskans, we pride ourselves in being independent and self-reliant people. And that requires a certain element of risk-taking. That's inherent in our character.
Well, with this recent crime wave, it's going to take an element of risk-taking. Mayor, before I forget, I heard that there was like one parking meter removed from 10th Avenue. What was that like?
It's a little bit like Ronald Reagan going to Mr. Gorbachev and saying, Mr. Gorbachev, take down that wall.
What? Okay, Mayor, we've covered the budget, crime, taxes, marijuana. How would you put it all together?
There's a lot of pieces of this puzzle, and I've just been very excited about putting the puzzle together in a way that the future looks even brighter than it has so far.
Well, Mayor Berkowitz, thank you for being here. It's been actually a great interview. This has been Jeff Landfield with the Alaska Landmine. Stay tuned for more interviews with Alaskan politicians.
AlaskaLandmine.com. I don't know where that one comes from.